David Seymour's in town.
Yeah, it's on his story. Is that Wendy?
Is the show started?
We're having lunch with David Seymour at Wendy's. This is the leader of the ACT Party. He invited us for lunch here at Wendy's.
Friend of the show.
Well, you sort of invited yourselves, but you know, it's nice to have you here.
Very excited. How are you, David?
I'm fantastic, and things are about to get so good because we're going to get Wendy's, and it's going to be amazing.
What do you order?
Oh, single with cheese, mate, and fries and a Coke.
I have to ask, obviously your day's very planned out, but why Wendy's?
Because it's the best. I mean, do you remember Dave? You guys are probably too young. You're too young for this. Look, Dave was the guy that used to at Wendy's, and then he'd talk about like how delicious their patties are, and he was right. Unfortunately, their buns, according to urban myth and legend, are actually so sugary that they've been reclassified as cakes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So look, it's not a healthy option, but they're pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah, we'll find out soon. Did you guys order?
Oh,
We got some fries. Some of us
fries.
have.
I've got a
Yeah,
burger now.
it's okay. I've got some coming. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. So how's the campaign going? You're pretty busy.
Oh, it's outstanding, mate. We're kicking goals with both feet and having a good time out there. So yeah, no, we've really enjoyed it.
A lot of momentum at the moment behind ACT.
Yeah. Look, I mean, you know, we're not counting any chickens until the polling booths close. But you know, we're hoping that we'll have more chickens to count than in previous hatchings.
What's your plan for election night? What kind of celebration? You got an event running or something?
Well, we're going to have a big celebration to thank all of those people that have helped us, our volunteers, our candidates, our party board, our donors, people who got out and delivered mail and knocked on doors. So many people did so much stuff for ACT. We've got a lot of people to thank, so we're having a big celebration on the Auckland waterfront at HQ.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah.
So not counting any chickens, but what are your election predictions? What do you reckon's going to happen?
Oh, look, I would say that ACT will hatch about 11 chickens according to the latest poll.
Wow.
I think that the Greens will hopefully chicken out, and we're actually going to end up as a much better country. You know, New Zealand First not even worth mentioning. They're kind of because they didn't keep any promises. And then what's left? Oh, National versus Labour. You know, with all those other parties out of the way, I think ACT and National together could just sneak by. The simple reason that people are looking at these guys and saying, okay, great marketing, but where's actually the plan to rebuild out of this? And it seems they're just sort of doing it one day after another. So that's the theory.
Okay.
So we'll see what the reality is on Saturday night.
And if that theory comes true, will it be David Seymour Deputy Prime Minister?
No, I don't see that, because the thing is, you can either take the baubles or you can do stuff for New Zealand. So when I got offered the opportunity to be a minister, I turned it down so I could do end-of-life choice, because actually I figured that it was more important to get change, and it would be easier to do that if I maintained my independence. So I can see a similar deal happening, but we'll see.
So you were offered the chance to be a minister in the past, and you're saying you wouldn't take Deputy Prime Minister, but would you take a ministerial role, and do you have any preferences?
I can't see it. I mean, ultimately what you want to do is say, look, you owe us nothing. You need our votes. Now let's talk about the policy direction of the country. That's a more powerful position to be in.
And what policy specifically would you be? What would you be?
Oh, look, Jacinda Ardern's right about one thing. It's a COVID election, so you've got to get smarter about the way we adapt. You know, this virus, in my view, I hope there's a vaccine, but I suspect it won't be going anywhere for a while. So we've got to ask, how can we maintain elimination with no more lockdowns? And how can we safely reconnect with the rest of the world? Because a lot of schools saying, look, we can't get our international students back, we can't balance our budget. I've just been at the International Aviation College. You know, those guys are saying, look, you know, we need to get international students back to make our business viable. People should be able to come in and out. Was that a medium
Number 6
quarter pound single? Yeah, that was me. Thank you so much. You're a legend.
Enjoy.
Cheers. So good, honestly.
So just on that, do you support an elimination policy?
Well, absolutely. But
So you don't believe in like a small amount in the community that can be, you know?
Well, you're confusing elimination with eradication.
Right.
Elimination, as we all learned from Professor Sir David Skegg, means maintaining the virus at a manageable level. So accepting that there's going to be outbreaks, no matter how careful you are. You don't know. I mean, maybe the Auckland outbreak came in on some frozen food. We're still not exactly sure. even if it didn't, it's still possible. So there's always going to be the possibility of a small level. Elimination is about ensuring that we keep it stamped out, and we need to be able to do so without resorting to expensive lockdowns.
So a manageable level of COVID.
That's right.
You enjoying your fries?
Oh, it's so good.
Can I get a quick rating? So like, your regular Wendy's. And then you
Honestly,
got this with the
Wendy's Hornby, I'm giving this out of 10 a 12.
A 12? We haven't gone into the burger yet.
These are no, well, the burger, I mean, who knows what remains to be seen, but this is perfection. It's fluffy on the inside, it's the right temperature, the right amount of salt, since I added some, and their ketchup's fantastic. This is...
Thoughts on the single-use plastic in the ketchup?
Who cares? I mean, well, honestly,
Personal responsibility.
here's the issue, right? So, if you think that our waste management program is so bad that we can't have a tiny plastic bottle of sauce that weighs a couple of grams, then we need to fix waste management. If you think the waste management system is good enough, then why do you care?
Interesting. So one thing that's been hit the headlines in the past couple of days is a bit of a Twitter feud
Oh,
with a Green candidate by the name of Luke Weijong.
who?
Luke Weijong. You're not familiar with this? Yeah, so he's a Green candidate running in Mount Albert, and he called you, I believe,
A stank-ass leader.
a stank-ass leader.
That's really sad. There's so many important issues to debate about the future of our country, and if you have to call someone names, you can't be a very good debater, can you?
Well, I saw a spokesperson for ACT came out saying that it just shows he's not mature, and some people aren't mature enough to be in politics.
Yeah. Well, resorting to name calling at that level, I mean, if you do it with some class, that's all good. But if you're resorting to name calling at that level, then probably shouldn't be. How old is he?
He's 18, I believe.
Such a shame, because you guys are 18 and you're really thoughtful. He's letting you all down.
Freedom of speech, I
Freedom
guess.
of speech?
Would you not say?
That's a bit of an ACT policy.
Well, yeah, but you guys are confusing the issue. Freedom of speech doesn't mean that you're immune to people saying you're a dickhead if you say stupid things.
Or a stank ass.
Well, exactly. But freedom of speech is about, do you want the government to come and lock you up if they think you said the wrong thing?
Sure.
That's freedom of speech. So that issue's not engaged here. This guy's saying that whatever he's saying, and I'm saying he's probably not very good debater and pretty immature and really.
Would you debate Luke Weijong?
I don't know. I don't know much about him.
Well, if we're talking about freedom of speech, do you want to jump in here? Our main political man? I mean, this is a contentious issue between you two.
We've had multiple different conversations about freedom of speech. I think it was the first question I asked you and the last one from our last debate.
Right.
I don't really know if we have anything more to say.
You have nothing to say, main political man.
I don't know. I mean, I think we've had some interesting yarns about it, definitely.
You put the fries in front of him, he's just satisfied.
Are you satisfied, David? Satisfied with the campaign?
Well, okay, I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with the campaign, but compared with the fries, these are some good fries.
These are some good
Your
fries.
campaign's been pretty intense. We've seen you going on a race course, jumping out of a plane. Is there any main, like, a big finale of the campaign?
I just used this claw machine. Check it out.
A claw machine.
Check it out.
Oh, we got.
Oh, wow. You're really about to get a scoop.
Potentially. So,
Oh my god.
Oh, wow. That's a real claw machine.
that's me using it. Hang on.
We'll cut the image in here.
Yeah, you should. Look, this is actually me using the claw machine.
Okay, so this is a video of David Seymour operating some heavy machinery.
Yeah. I'm in the cockpit.
Wow.
Got it. See, picked it up. Yeah.
It looks like he's at the scrap works.
Do you have your license, David?
You don't need a license for this. You just need
Really?
mad skills. Yeah.
Would you say you have bad skills?
And we should have a
Well,
license.
according to this video, why would you introduce a licensing regime if you didn't know what the problem was you're trying to solve?
No, just a question.
Yeah, well, just an answer.
Freedom of speech, I guess.
Thoughts on the Wendy's mascot? What is it
On Wendy.
Well, I just wonder, because if you look at that, see, it actually says, it looks like it says mom, but I think it's just the frills on the,
Wow.
yeah.
Very
But
nice.
I've always assumed that's Wendy, I don't know.
Yeah, well, they call it Hart. Was that Carl's Jr. at the parties? I know in America it's called different names, but
Can we get a like a fast food rating? Like where do they sit?
tier list.
What's the
tier
what's
list.
the tier list? We know you're a fan of the fish fillet at McDonald's.
That's
Young Matt.
pretty epic, yeah.
Pretty epic.
That's epic.
Well, look, I think the cameraman's getting in on the price. He's loving it. I mean, sorry, that's the other place. Well, look, I mean, your basic hierarchy. So, Burger Wisconsin, Burger Fuel. I mean, that's gourmet. That's gourmet. That's some gourmet. That's the real stuff.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then Wendy's is sort of, bringing up your second tier, bringing up your rear in the second tier. Is,
It's like a B tier sort of quality, but not
Yeah.
quite.
What if it's A tier and those are S that you just described?
No, I think like Wendy's is good, but it's not quite as gourmet as BK. Oh, sorry, BK. No. And then you go down, and then you got to admire McDonald's just because of the sheer capitalism of it.
Is that admirable to you?
You got to read Ray Kroc's book, Grinding It Out. The last sentence is the story of how he created McDonald's. And the last sentence is, we must defend free enterprise capitalism. It's the only system that ever worked. Ray Kroc, true story.
Right.
Now, so you got to love McDonald's, but, it's weird. As you get older, like you guys probably love McDonald's, as you get older, like your body just is like, stop feeding me this. So that's when you got to move up the scale. And then BK, I've nothing against BK, but it's never worked for me.
Alright. One thing we remember is our first interview with you during lockdown time. You played the guitar for us, David.
That's
I tell
true.
you, it was amazing.
We went, I don't want to say viral, but that one sparked a certain audience for us.
And
Yeah.
what we've done today is, I don't know how comfortable you are, but it would mean the world. We've bought a guitar with it. How would you feel about strumming a couple of chords?
Oh, that'd be a pleasure.
Getting guitar technician Ben Davis.
So it was Sultans of Swing back in the day. I don't know if you want to play the same thing, but
We can give you a backing track of Sultans of Swing if you prefer that.
Oh, no, just natural.
Just raw.
and the singing definitely made it. So if we can get a little bit of that in there, it would be
I'll give you some room. Hang on.
We might crank some Coldplay.
Coldplay. Do you know? I'm only here for the singing, really. So
The official Christ College guitar right here.
Oh, is this a... Quite close guitar. Alright, hang on.
We'll get that spec out of the way for you. You don't want to go on.
Oh!
Shout out Mr. Sutcliffe.
Bones sinking like stones, all that we fought for. And homes, places we've grown, all of us done for. We live in a beautiful world. Yeah, we do, live in a beautiful world. Bones sinking like stones, all that we fought for. And homes, places we've grown, all of us are done for. We live in a beautiful world. Yeah, we do, live in a beautiful world. Sinking like stones, all that we fought for. Homes, places we've gone, all of us are done for. We live in a beautiful world. Yeah, we do, we live in a beautiful world. Homes sinking like everybody here got somebody to lean.
Whoa.
There you go. A little bit of Chris Martin right there.
You've lit up the whole Wendy's, David.
Wow,
Everyone's
it's just going off here at Wendy. Yeah, amazing.
Your Wendy's lit from David Seymour in.
Yeah.
So, Judith Collins. How do you feel their campaign's been going?
Oh, look, I don't really focus on their campaign. I mean, I want to talk about our campaign. Now, our campaign. Now, there's a campaign.
That's a politician answer there.
Well-
So tell us about your campaign then.
Our campaign. Look, you go back. If you want to see the contrast, you go back to. Let's go to get into this burger. So the fries were a 10. No, 12 out of 10.
Wow.
The Coke's just 10 because it's always 10.
Hard to mess up Coke.
You go back to people are into all sorts of different cuisine, but people always forget American cuisine.
Interesting.
You really come out all guns blazing with this accent you're just throwing around today.
Swinging around like a loose cannon today, David.
You go back to, I think it was the 23rd of March, or maybe the 24th, before everything got locked out. Now we were, campaigning to. We campaigned to say, look, this is going to be hard. No one has all the answers. The opposition's job is to support our government where possible, to make constructive criticisms when necessary, and make positive suggestions if you can. That same day, the National Party gave a speech where they just went completely berserk about welfare, and it was just so. It wasn't the major issue. I mean, raising the benefits in the middle of a crisis was wrong, but it wasn't the major issue. It wasn't what New Zealand needed at that time. And now, ACT is saying, look, the consequences of COVID, they're unimaginably hard, and we've got to adapt to a new reality. This virus is not going away, and we've got to actually be smarter in the way we adapt, and we've got to be honest about the debt. And if we get it all right, we can rebuild a country we can all be proud of. And so why don't you elect this genuinely independent team to hold us all accountable? That's been a positive campaign, and I think that's why we've attracted a lot more support than we expected.
Do you see that as ACT's role in this cycle, I suppose, of holding Labour accountable? Is that ACT's position rather than...
Well, if they win, yeah. But I think even if the Nats form a government, they're still going to need ACT to make sure they don't just turn into Labour light.
Sure. Great lunch with you, David. I think we are going to wrap it up soon, but can I get a quick rating on that burger?
Look, this burger hasn't, in fairness to Wendy's, I come in with pretty high expectations. So I'm probably going to give it a 7 or an 8.
It's not about Wendy.
Yeah, it's not as good as the fries, which were a 12 out of 10. This is a solid. Let's make it a 7.5.
Come to Wendy's for the potato.
Yeah, well, and the particular preparation of the potato was amazing.
Wonderful.
But the Coke's always 10 out of 10 because Coke, that's just capitalism in a glass.
I feel like we should also say that there's no sponsorship here. We don't endorse Wendy's as the college project or Christ
Unless
College.
you want to do a sponsorship, we're okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, what would you take the money or just take the burgers?
I'd take like a
Maybe a
meal
mix.
voucher. That'd be
meal
wonderful.
voucher, yeah.
I'd take the money if we're going. If we're talking about capitalism.
But while we're at it, this has been lunch on the campaign trail at Wendy's with David Seymour.
Yeah, we're hugely thankful for you taking a little bit of your time
thanks so much.
out to spend some time with the college project. We understand the relationship with the main political man may not be the best, but you've still said yes to do a third interview, so it's much appreciated.
Hi,
Oh,
Dave.
good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
Cheers.
Sweet, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.